Hey guys, for once in my life I've been too busy actually having a social life to film anything. Also, football camp last week kind of killed me. But I had a couple of friends over for the weekend and we got a ton of cosplay stuff done, so I'm now feeling a lot better about my life. But in light of that, I thought it would be fun to do a sort of cosplay for beginners video. I know how daunting it can feel looking online at some of the ridiculously amazing cosplayers and just sitting there thinking that you can never reach that level, so you might as well give it a miss. But what you need to remember is usually those people have been cosplaying for years and have spent a lot of time developing those skills. So I thought I'd help out by explaining what, to me, are the basics of cosplay making. So, first things first, choosing your cosplay. When choosing a cosplay, particularly a first cosplay, you need to be aware of your skill level. Don't bite off more than you can chew, otherwise you'll be rushing to finish in time and then you'll never have any fun. But other than that, go nuts! Don't worry about race, size, gender, whatever. Cosplay isn't about that. Cosplay is about showing appreciation for a particular character and having fun in costume. Anyone who tells you shouldn't be cosplaying a certain character is a dickweasel and you don't need them in your life. Also, quick note for female cosplayers, meaning girls cosplaying as male characters, please, please, please bind safely. I'm not saying go out and buy a binder shirt because those can be expensive, but please research the proper way to bandage bind and make sure you don't do it too tight. I've bound incorrectly with bandages before and let me tell you, it's not a fun experience. Next, you'll want to break your cosplay down into parts. Get as many reference pictures as possible, zoom in as close as you can and note down every single detail about your costume. Split your costume into pieces, as many as it takes, and tackle each piece separately. If you can buy it or buy something to alter for it, then that's always a good shortcut if you're tight on time or money. I tend to find that looking at a costume as a whole can be kind of overwhelming, but if you break it down into pieces you start to realise that it's not actually as difficult as you thought it was going to be. Look at each part and plan out how you're going to construct it. After you've got that sorted, you'll need to pick materials, and I don't just mean fabric. Look at your props and accessories and figure out what you'll need to make them. Do your research, check online for any good tutorials from people who've already made the same thing. See what works and what doesn't, and make your decisions from there. Then for the actual fabric parts of the cosplay, a lot of that is usually just guesswork. Again, figure out what you need from it. Does it need to be heavy fabric or something lighter and thinner? Is it matte or shiny? Does it need to stretch? If you have a fabric shop nearby, then go there and have a look through their stock, see if you can find what you're looking for. If not, then the internet's your only resource, so you're just going to have to cross your fingers and hope that it turns up looking like it did on the screen. Ask for samples if you're not sure, and don't be afraid to send fabric back if it's not what you're looking for. You don't want to waste your money on that. Think about how comfortable your cosplay will be, how you're going to get in and out of it, and whether you're going to be okay temperature-wise depending on the time of year you're wearing it. The general rule with cosplay is that you can pick 2 of 3 things: price, comfort, and accuracy. Getting all 3 is practically impossible, so choose which 2 mean the most to you and stick with them. Gonna be honest, comfort is usually my sacrifice. So you've decided on your cosplay, split it into parts and bought everything you need to make it. Now you need a pattern. For a beginner, I definitely recommend working off a pre-made pattern, but if you're being a bit more daring, then you might need to draft something from scratch. If so, God help you. No, I'm kidding. Mostly. Pattern drafting is okay once you get the hang of it. My main tip would be to do a mock-up of your pattern and scrap fabric first before you cut into the good stuff. Do several mock-ups if you need to. I did 5 for my cap shirt and I'm still not sure it fits. Make absolutely sure your pattern actually works before you cut into the real fabric, or that's going to get expensive. And that's the hardest part of the cosplay making process out of the way. After that you just have to put the damn thing together, which I promise is actually the least stressful part. So just keep your fingers crossed and pray to the cosplay gods and everything should go smoothly. And if it doesn't, swearing at your fabric and crying in a corner is a completely natural response. No one will judge you, we've all been there. Quick side note for prop construction: before you start, check the prop and weapons guidelines of your convention. Usually they have rules about the size and material of props and on carrying realistic guns and stuff. The last thing you want is to spend weeks and weeks on a prop only to have it confiscated 10 minutes into the con. My last cosplay tip is about photos. You've worked so hard on your cosplay, you're gonna want something to show for it. Before the con, work out 2 or 3 poses that suit your character. Practice them, have someone look at them from all angles, and learn what the pose feels like without having to look in a mirror. That way when someone asks for a photo, you can just drop your stuff and jump into position without a problem. You want to know that your poses look good, otherwise you get home from a con all excited and you go online to look for photos and you realise that you were blocking half your body with a prop, or you're standing really awkwardly, or you've got a really weird look on your face. Nothing is more disappointing than spending a whole weekend in a cosplay you're really proud of and getting no decent photos afterwards. That's about it really. I hope that's helped any beginner cosplayers out there, and if you've got any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer them on my various social media platforms, all of which are linked down below. I have now spent far too much time talking about cosplay and should probably get on with some, you know, actually making it. Fingers crossed I'll vlog next week, but yeah, look at my track record. So I shall talk to you whenever I next have the time, and I hope you all have a good week. Bye guys!